Welcome back to Oblivious Maximus. I'm one of your hosts, Ben. Joining me as always is
Aaron. We're back again.
It's been a couple of weeks off.
Yep.
Due to just poor planning, I think.
Mainly poor planning.
It just got away from us, really.
Yeah.
That happens in life. And we're back. So it's like we never went away.
Yeah, really. We had very good intentions of doing this multiple times over the last few weeks. Just fucked it each time, I'd say. Predominantly, I would say a lot of that is my fault, but...
Well, you were on the Harm's Way tour,
yes,
which was, from the sounds of it, a lot busier than you anticipated.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess is just classic
tour.
Being on tour. Like nothing's ever going to go perfectly.
Nah. And to be fair, like everything went great. Like nothing, there was no problems, but it was just like I completely didn't factor in like, oh, we have to load in every show and we're going to have to set up a backline every day. And
I also think you forget like how tired you're going to be whenever you're away for that long. And like, I'm in the fucking van with these people all day or in the airport. It sounds like you guys spent a lot of time in the airport.
Yeah, we basically flew everywhere in the end, which was very sick. Thank you, Candace, for doing that for us. But it was as a result of, and I think this is very much common knowledge now, but Rudzi, who films all the speed videos and goes on tour with Speed, broke his arm moshing at a show in Canberra.
How did this happen?
I don't know. Speed did put up a video today of like Canberra, the like weekly videos they're doing.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I got to assume there's some coverage in that.
Right. Okay. So it happened there.
Happened at the show in Canberra. I think while Scorn were playing, he moshed and broke his arm.
Fuck no. More
so, Rudzi, you can call in and let us know.
Keep the calcium up, brother.
But so Rudzi was meant to be on the Harm's Way tour. He was meant to be TMing the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up to Brisbane like 4 days before the tour just to hang out with my friends. And when I got there, Candace was like, basically messaged me and said, I'm sure she won't care that I said this. She was like, got some good news and some bad news. Good news, you're flying this thing now. And I was like, fuck, that's great news, not having to drive somewhere. Bad news, Rodzi broke his arm. Can you drive around for the next couple of days in Brisbane? Which was fine and was easy. And, we just hung out and did stuff. And then Keldon, previous guest of the podcast.
Burning
Hammer. Drummer from Aglo.
Yeah. Main credit.
Keldon saved the day and came on the tour so I could continue drinking and didn't have to drive.
Big shout out to Keldon.
Yeah, thanks, Keldon.
Last minute call up. Yeah. Well done, mate.
But as a result of all this stuff happening, Candace had to make some shifts basically to accommodate for what was initially planned. So we ended up flying most places, which was very cool. But we had 19 bags. So the airport is a nightmare with no bags.
Yeah.
Let alone 19 of them.
And you got all the gear and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, it was just, so that was brutal. And then, then every show we had to get there early and set everything up. And that is basically what got in the way of us doing the podcast. Because we were going to do one with Bo and maybe Chris. And obviously that didn't happen. But I did do Hard Law with Bo and Colin.
One of the craziest episodes one of the sequence of events.
So we did this thing. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's great. Obviously, their podcast is amazing, and I'm stoked we got to do it. We did it right here in the room, which was fun. But yeah, we just did like this 10 top riffs thing. And
great topic.
Yeah, it was fun.
Innocuous topic.
Had a lot of feedback from it, positive and negative, so keep them coming. I do not care about your opinion because the riffs are all sick, but...
If we did, you'd have the mic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'd be on the fucking episode. Then for some reason, Rick to Life got really mad about it. Rick to Life from 25 to Life got mad about Hard Law. And yeah, then it kind of went a little bit viral because Colin responded to it, and it was very funny. And then because I was like tagged in the video, I started getting like all the
heat.
Well, I wasn't like hate towards me, but I was just like a participant now in this feud with Rick to Life. So, and then I've noticed he has like started following like anyone who responded to him. He followed them, and I think a bunch of people from Australia like replied to him and said, "Cheers to Australian hardcore for standing up for the Hardlore episode." And
man, Rick to Life just never ceases to be one of the great hardcore memes. Just
something about
every generation he's got a meme.
Something about what's going on up there is helping him stay relevant.
Him in front of the Trump flag is truly something. Like,
2 hammers in front of the Trump flag.
Yeah, brutal. Fucking crazy.
He did later, I think like many days later, after receiving a lot of flack, I think then post on the video, like in the comments, like, "Nah, I'm joking." Like after being given a relentless amount of shit, he was joking.
By the way, I'm joking now.
Much like when we were talking about the other day, the people complaining about Parkway Drive playing at the Opera House.
Yeah.
The price of the tickets.
People complaining the one's son's tickets.
Yeah. And it sold out like immediately.
Yeah. No one complaining about, what do you expect? It's at the Opera House. Like, can't imagine it's fucking cheap to rent out.
$50 and a few door spots. Yeah, but so the Hardlore thing was really fun. It was so fucking early when we did it. Started recording at 7 a.m. in here, which still dark outside when we got here.
The studio is amazing, but shared with a lot of other comedians and creators. Normally we do our episodes at night.
It's nighttime, right? Yeah.
And or on the weekends when comedians are not here, so a bit hard to get during the day. So you were up at the crack of dawn.
We're up at the crack of dawn.
That's the earliest anyone's ever got up for a podcast.
Yeah, and I think like Bo did pretty well, but I can't remember, someone was saying the other day at that New Volume thing, like, "Man, you weren't as loud as you usually are in Oblivious Maximus." And I was like, brother, I was
fucking in bed half an hour before the pod.
Truly, and I was fucking hungover too. So it was.
Because what was that? That was the day after the
Bendigo show.
The Bendigo show, yeah.
So not only was it a Harm's Way show, Aglo also played.
Yeah.
So I was there from fucking 3 p.m. setting up a backline. Then Aglo played, and it was maybe the hottest I've ever experienced the Bendigo.
Man, it
was crazy in there.
The Bendigo, I managed to catch the end of that show. Because I had some other gigs and I ran across town to catch the end of Harm's Way. And I've never seen more people at the Bendigo. That's got to be the most packed I've ever seen the Bendigo. I think a lot of people on the door, including myself. A lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely pretty shockers in there.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was sold out. And then I think the new owners of the Bendigo, the Mill Brewing crew, are fucking awesome. Like, they're so lovely and was so good about the show. The show was sold out. I think they found a way to get some more tickets. I think they might have sold areas of the bar that they usually reserve for other stuff because they've been doing dinners there and stuff. Now they weren't doing that night. Yeah. And it was packed. And then, there was definitely like a lot of people in the door. So
the Bendigo, big shout out to the Mill. They've turned that place.
It
was already a great venue, but it had its quirks, to put it lightly. But they've, the $10 beer there now is like their great lager.
It's a good beer,
which is sick. Yeah. And that Dingo at my taco restaurant is fucking awesome. Too. So just a cool place to go now.
Just cool. Gotta get some aircon.
Yeah, that is the
temperature cool. The one thing they haven't quite figured out. Yeah, but again, they're still new at it.
I feel like that aircon in that room that night probably wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have helped. It would have still been fucked in there.
But yeah, a lot of people came out for those Harm's Way shows. The night before we were at the Rev. Yeah. That was a sick show as well.
The Boys in the Cage, which was fun. Obviously, I hadn't been back since the Extortion show there. But there'd been multiple other ones in that time. Miles Away played there, and I think Alga Mortis have played there a couple other times and stuff too.
Yeah, well, that's the first time I had been there in a long time because I've missed the last few shows there from being overseas or I missed the Miles Away show. Just it sold out real quick. But kind of cool, like spot to watch bands. Like it's
and I think the Extortion show there. I don't know if I've talked about it on here, but the Extortion show there was crazy. But it was just like too psycho. Like they didn't have a door person in the right spot, and they made us do the merch like literally where the pit was, and there wasn't it was also I think it was a Friday night or a Saturday night, so it was fully a nightclub at the same time, so it was just so packed.
Well, it's weird to go into that back bit of Revs and it was just empty.
Yeah.
Like, save for a couple of people chilling out between the bands.
But it was much more like a normal show was.
Yeah.
But people still jumped off the cage, so it was sick.
Yeah, it's funny to see people use the cage.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. People climbing almost to the roof and jumping off.
And I think
very sick shit.
I showed some of the Harmsway guys the Extortion, like the video of Extortion playing there, there was a lot of that happening that night. And they were like, oh, I hope that happens at this show. And then it basically started happening like immediately. So it was very satisfying.
Yeah, I saw one person like swing off one side of the cage, hit the cage and come back in and then run to the other side. Did the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, they were using it as like an obstacle course almost.
Yeah. You almost hit the deck.
Speaking of obstacle courses.
Trying to fix a drum mic.
Trying to fix a snare drum mic. Nearly ate shit. 2 times on the tour that I had to get on stage to assist. Both times nearly ate shit. In Sydney, it was very funny. Someone captured a picture of it, which was hilarious. Because I was like, in my head, I thought James was going to like swing his arm back. So I sort of leaned back to avoid it happening. But after the show, talking to him about it, he was like, I saw you there and I didn't do anything. So I kind of like avoided nothing.
Yeah.
And then just walked past him. And then in Revs, I nearly fell over. So that was funny. But then all the other shows, I got away unscathed and drum kit survived. So I'm a consummate professional.
Well, those shows rocked ass.
Yeah,
the ones that I saw.
All of them were good, honestly, and every band from Australia that played was fucking amazing. Terminal Sleep did the whole thing. They were fucking ripping the whole time. I will give a big shout out though, Bloodmouth, who are our boys, played a couple of the shows and fucking rocked. Like was so good. And to be honest, it was fun having Aglo play, but that's neither here nor there. But the show in Perth, we talked a lot about Perth after we went there for the Aglo solo comedy tour.
Yeah.
The show there though was fucking unreal. Like, Jailed had to bail, unfortunately. Total Defeat stepped in. They were fucking great. The Chain was amazing. And Day of Demise was killer too. And so it was like bands we'd seen when we were there, bands that have played here recently, and they're all fucking great. And it's just another, I think, feather in the cap of Perth right now. You got to go fucking play there, basically.
Yeah. Everything looked fucking incredible. All the footage and stuff from Perth looked mad. Not that it didn't look great elsewhere, but it just seemed like it's just really just got a good scene going on at the moment. It's like pretty cohesive over there as well.
And it was just it was like an awesome way to end the tour too. Like to have like one of the best shows be the last one.
And Harm's Way is seemingly the only recent tour to go unscathed with Brisbane starting their tour there.
Yeah, we managed to avoid Cyclone by like days. And basically fake cyclone, yeah.
as people are starting to before.
I think it was basically like the whole tour was kind of booked around Knotfest happening. Wanted to avoid clashing with Knotfest, and ended up being great that it started up there and worked its way down because literally every show was like, I think they all thought it was amazing weather. I fucking was sweating my ass off, but it was it was like lovely summer shows everywhere we went. So it was great.
Yeah. And there has been 1 million shows on at the moment.
Truly.
Like we've got 2 pretty big tours going on. Having gone on, New Bloom and Knotfest for for your core people.
Yep.
And then also just like big shit like Green Day and AFI. And Kneecap.
Alexis on
Fire. Bill and Colin.
Pennywise. Apparently a packed show.
Yeah, I heard this. Apparently it didn't sound very good from all reports. But there's just like, not great for the bank balance at the moment for out there. But get in while you can before it gets into winter because there's some awesome shit. Yeah,
no, it's been great. And then, we obviously went to the New Bloom Festival the other day, which was dope. Hot as fuck out there.
Yeah, I had a couple of conversations in the sun where I was standing out there. I was like, I'll be right for a minute. I was like, nah, I'm fucking cooking out here. Definitely felt a bit gassed on Tuesday.
Yeah,
probably copped a bit of sun.
Definitely.
And big day out there. We went there pretty early to catch crawling.
We got there at the start. Doors open.
There at the start, there till stumps.
We were getting moved along at the end.
Yeah, moved along by some, I don't know why. Like we're in the middle of Port Melbourne. Port Melbourne apparently not the docks anymore. There's apartments down there. But New Bloom, sick day out.
Another, and that I will also acknowledge another podcast failing on my behalf. We were also meant to do one with Andrew from Basement, who I've known for a very long time. And we'll still try and do it at some point with him. We might try and do it on Zoom now that I've done hardware in here and we figured out how to use this contraption.
Yeah, well, and I guess like, sometimes these things work out, sometimes they don't. But man, Basement, I got to catch him at their sideshow at the Prince Band Room, just next level, just like always been a great band.
Professional rock band.
Yeah, and just people went bunter as well. I mean, they went crazy at New Bloom, but obviously barrier, security guards, all that sort of stuff. But despite all that, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And just one of the great bands. Basement just fucking rocked it.
Yeah.
But New Bloom, I guess like second year of New Bloom, it's kind of a cool little mix of a festival, like something else that's kind of on the calendar. Drain was psycho.
Yeah, fucking unreal. That band is so good.
Sammy's got to be one of the great frontmans.
Yeah,
and
the nicest guy alive.
Yeah,
like so lovely too.
His ability to control the crowd.
He's gone big touring man mode.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing up there.
Which is just like, I guess you got that. Like I always love when I see that. Like, you can just tell the crowd what to do.
Yep, and they'll do it. And when your riffs are sick, they'll have a crack.
The push to the bar move.
Yeah.
You might have seen footage of this where I can imagine the security guard. I think they fully shit themselves. And great line from Sammy saying, "Let's make these security guards work."
Yeah.
And boy, did they have to fucking bust ass during that Drain set, which was very funny.
Maybe that's why we're all getting hustled out there at the end.
Yeah, they're like, "Fucking get these cunts out of here."
But no, it was great. Like, shout out to Ash who books it. The last year's one was awesome too, the first time. And then this year as well, like fucking pretty brutal. The first show of the run of the festival having to get canned because of the fake cyclone.
Yeah. Just to clarify, we believe in the cyclone.
It was a cyclone. People, my sister's house is all the light fittings got flooded through.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal for them that it just got cancelled. Like there was literally nothing they could do. It was just, it's not happening.
Yeah, and I guess for that, that level of, I don't think anything's happened up there really.
No,
nothing's gone ahead.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think even still, like, I mean, my sister's house, all the water just started coming through the lights, so that's great.
Bonkers.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, water and electricity. Not one of the great combos.
Yeah.
Well then, I guess Drain, they got added to the Not Fest.
Yeah, I think that opened it,
which is pretty cool. So people are working some stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd like to think that it'll figure it out now. It seems to have all passed basically now, but
yeah, it's interesting. Like I like that size of New Bloom as a festival as well.
I mean, it was at the same joint where the speed van skate thing was.
Yeah.
But I think the venue just operates way better when there's not an enormous fucking half pipe in the middle of the room and
I was surprised, quite cool in
Yes.
side of this massive warehouse.
Yeah.
They had whatever system cranked.
Yeah. I think Ash were briefly talking about it, and I think they had to do quite a lot of work to get it to be like that, though. I think they had to cover lots of windows and which again I think is stuff that probably everyone thought of after the speed thing was there and experienced what it was like at that. That was obviously a different time of year, though. It was in the middle of fucking summer. But I thought it was great. Like, I hope they do more things there because it's just a good sized space for what that is. And also it was like pretty easy to see from anywhere in the venue. Like the stage was the right height. Even if you were at like the very back, you could still see.
Well, there wasn't like you had to get in, like if you wanted to kind of chill a bit back.
Yeah.
Which I want to do as a 37-year-old. You could do that, but also be still quite close. Like during Basement, I watched from the side, and it was like, you know, there was a whole area where it was like not that busy because everyone was like right in front.
And also, my biggest cheers to him will be there was more bars. So
there was seemingly one bar up the back.
Yeah,
just not even really much going on there.
Well, they weren't selling beer, so no one was buying anything from that one.
Right. What were they selling?
Just mixed drinks. Bizarre. Not even, I don't think even soft drinks or like non-alcoholic beverages. Just
pina coladas.
Just vodka cans. But
one gripe, the toilet situation. The porta potties.
I think there's no way around it. Again, the brief conversation I had with Ash, I think he also mentioned like there's no other way. Like there's no other, because if you put any amount of them out the front, then no one's going out the back. Yeah. And then the front where everyone's hanging becomes the most disgusting place on earth. So I think you got no options.
No way around it, but Oh well.
Oh well. That's what it is. We can't, not everything can be perfect. But multiple bars, less lines, happy me in the end. But yeah, it was sick. So otherwise, other than me being effectively absent from doing this for the last little while and being away at lots of shows, you've got the Comedy Fest coming up.
Comedy Fest coming up in just a few short weeks. I start in the second half. So, I mean, I guess going to all these shows as well. I've also been doing a bunch of gigs to prep for that. Yeah. The week that... the Harm's Way week, I was like hosting at Comedy Republic for the weekend, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is always a sick time. Great shows there. And then, have just been doing lots of gigs. I got a last minute call up to open for this American comedian.
Luke's, at Stay Gold.
Yeah, at Stay Gold, Luke Severide. Super nice guy, I guess. Sort of touring alongside of Knotfest. A lot of his material is about metal and stuff like that. Pretty big online following, about 163K or something. Jesus. And his crowd, like mostly a metal audience. And I guess I got the call up because I look like this and do this. And big shout out to Stacey from Dal, who is a longtime friend who kind of put a word in for me. But that was super fun at Stay Gold, like pretty packed Stay Gold with seats in it for Luke. And his fans were like really great to perform to, had a great time opening for him. A bunch of people took flyers and shit afterwards. Sick. And a bit of an odd experience. Like I haven't really opened for any bigger, like I've done lineups with bigger comedians and stuff like that, but I haven't really like been the main support for a comedian that's like much bigger than me. Like I've done it for mates and stuff, obviously. So that was super cool. Got a bunch of new followers out of it. So if you're listening to this, thanks.
Also, if you came to this podcast via the comments of the Richter Life teasing. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Stick around.
Stick around.
See if Rick will give us some shit too.
Yeah, if you want to hear us do more specific chat about venues in Melbourne, let us.
Yeah, if you're from America and you've started following this podcast,
it's normally different.
We will have guests again, I promise.
Yeah, little catch up episode for us, but so that's been pretty flat chat with comedy stuff, and my gig Catfish has been kind of some bigger shows with, bigger acts kind of dropping in the lead up to Comedy Fest, which is sick. But yeah, that show starts on April 8th. So I'm still just, going through all the bits and pieces, trying to toiling away on the material. I have one last little trial show next Wednesday, which will just be a quiet thing. I don't know if I'll put much online about it, but I'll do that. And then, from April 8th, 12 shows at the Comedy Fest. Nice. It's usually a pretty big month for me and every other comedian in Melbourne. But yeah, not only am I on, there's like a ton of great comedians out there. A few of them we've had on this show. Yep. So go and check them out. It's a great month. It's sort of like comedy Christmas, people call it. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have some big guests at Catfish as well for the whole month of Comedy Fest.
Hopefully we'll try and do some more pods with some of the comics when they're in town too.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
see what we can squeeze in.
Had some good. Our last episode with Jordan Barr got a lot of great feedback from a few people out there that they really enjoyed that one. Jordan's sick. So yeah, my next month or so is just fucking promoting this show.
So
get people down there. So yeah, come to Punk Music at Melbourne Comedy Festival. It's my new hour. But yeah, should be a lot of fun. It's at the Cooper's Inn. Which is a great independent venue. Now I think it's Melbourne's, as part of the Comedy Festival, it's the biggest independent venue.
True.
And the bigger venues are all like run by the Comedy Festival themselves. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd festival, the Comedy Fest. It's like they put on the festival but also produce some of the shows. It's a bit fucking weird.
I mean, it is crazy. Like, obviously now I'm a couple of years into, sitting side seat to you doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fucking mental. I mean, like when I first moved here, I think we went, I went to a couple different shows just because it's a Melbourne thing to do.
Yeah.
And then kind of lifting the curtain and meeting lots of comics and going to their shows and then going to like the big gala show and the like all that, and then like us getting pissed and going to one of the parties and stuff. Like I've seen probably every side of it at this point, but yeah, it's a crazy machine. Like it's wild how it takes over the city.
Yeah, and it's odd because like I mean it's so for comedians and people sort of adjacent to it, it's so massive, but other people cannot notice it as well, which I guess is the same as like music stuff as well.
Of course, yeah.
Because like so many people, you say to like, is this Not Fest and all the side shows, and some people are like, what?
Yeah. Well, there was a bunch of days on the Harm's Way tour was the same day as Billie Eilish was playing in that city.
Yeah.
And there was like multiple times where they were playing places. I was drinking their rider. They were playing shows where like parking was really shit. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with the parking? And then it was like, oh, you can't park anywhere because Billie Eilish is playing here tonight.
Yeah. Well, I copped that on the Friday or the Saturday after those shows. I was at Comedy Republic and then drove into this. I drove my housemate's car into the city. There's a parking garage at the top of the city that I always go to.
Yeah.
Just full because Green Day was on.
Yeah.
And yeah, just had to go into a car park and then drive all the way through it and immediately out, which was awesome.
I had a completely not to do with this stuff, but I had to go into the city for 2 days for work, and a colleague of mine lives in Ballarat and she drove in and stayed overnight, and like every hotel was booked out because I think, again, Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Like multiple nights, a lot of out-of-towners in the CBD couldn't get a room.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's great. Like if you didn't see some sort of music event in the last month, what are you fucking doing? Because I think there was just 1 million things on, like there's a Golden Plains and all those kind of festivals were on, which are like out of Melbourne. But
I went and saw Drake.
You went and saw Drake?
I don't know I don't know if we talked about that.
I think maybe we did. We did
maybe with Jordan.
Well, we did the Jordan episode, but I don't think we talked about it.
Yeah.
If you correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah. I went with the guys from Subalba, and I don't think we talked about it with Martin when he was here, but that's what we did the night before.
Yeah, because you, one of the dudes from Subalba
Yeah, Nate is friends with people who work on those shows, and we were just at my house, and it came up that we could go to Drake, and I was like, no, I'm not going to Drake, and then I went to Drake.
Yeah,
and then I was literally standing directly underneath him.
It's crazy, like you guys had better seats than like footy players. Like,
well, I did see Rory Lobb in the area that I was, so good on you, Rory. Hope you had a great night, mate. Crazy thing at those shows, I didn't realize this. Like while it was happening, I couldn't make sense of it. But then, because obviously we saw him the day of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So the day he'd been called a pedophile by Kendrick Lamar in front of the largest viewing of the Super Bowl in history.
Yes.
I think it's 135 million people watched it live.
Crazy.
And yeah, he just called him a pedophile like 30 times. So I saw him that day, and his whole production had something to do with the drama, but he did not address it once. And again, I'm speaking about something that I know nothing about. So for any Drake fans out there, you
fill in the details.
Fill in the details for me if you must.
Well, we haven't plugged SpeakPipe in a while.
Yeah, call in and tell me why I'm wrong about the Drake Kendrick beef.
Link in our Instagram bio for SpeakPipe.
We're gonna get back on that. But he was just giving people money at the shows. Like people were holding up signs, and I at the show I was like, oh, so many people here have signs, and I was like, in my head I was like, I don't know, I guess that's a thing people do at Drake shows.
I think he did it. It's from one of his videos, right?
I think so. Yeah. But he was like, stop him performing, and he was like, that person, my manager's coming to talk to you, giving you 25 grand.
Holy fuck!
It wasn't like $500. Like, and I think one of the signs was like, and again, I could be incredibly incorrect here, but I think one of the signs was like, I'm trying to start a small business, and he was like, brother, I feel you.
Drake just giving out small business loans.
He's giving out government grants.
The manager comes down with the fucking terms and conditions. Yeah, that's like, how much is he making from these concerts where 25?
Couldn't have been that much, given that I think it was Zabalba plus 10.
Yeah. But I mean, supposedly these shows, it was like smaller venues, but more shows, I think.
Yeah. I think he played here like 5 times.
Yeah.
I mean, the show was crazy as well. Like, yeah, I will say, like, I know very little about Drake. I knew a handful of the songs, but
we're all about big production now since we've seen Parkway.
I mean, and that's what I was there for. 2 stages, catwalk, multiple costume changes.
Yeah, and he's wild. Like walking above the crowd.
Yeah, he was literally like above my head. I took a photo of his crotch.
Maybe I'll get this in my show.
Well, Duck texted me and said, when are you coming home? And I just replied with a photo of like quite literally Drake's undercarriage.
Yeah, it would be a good setup to get going. Maybe next Aglo show you can get that happening.
Yeah, get me on the stage. I got to pump the new Aglo record as well.
Oh yeah, so this is done.
This is done. I picked them up today. Got the LPs.
Recorded by
our mate Lewis.
Yep.
Who plays guitar in Aglo every now and then. Taylor Young mixed it. Brad from Audio Siege mastered it. That's been the setup for the last little while, and it's been awesome. Couple songs. By the time this goes on the internet, you'll be able to see it, but I do an I Exist cover, which has been pretty fun. I've been playing it live too, which has been cool. And yeah, it's these new songs that I recorded, and then a couple songs that I put out last year on the internet, all on one record. My mate Paddy did the art. He fucking killed it. Comboing with art that Tom Sweetman did initially came out great. Louis from Volatile Ways and Honest Crooks has helped me put it out, so big shout out to Louis.
Team effort.
Yeah, like literally all the homies just chipped in, and there's a record. And Aglo's playing Saturday, March 29 at the Bendigo with Ghost Smoker, Braden's other band, and it's their record launch. And it's going to be my record launch too. Sorry, boys.
Yeah. So if you want to see Braden rip twice.
Yeah, and he can rip. So
one of the great drummers.
He'll be up there smashing them. But yeah, they'll have my LPs will be there. Ghost Smoker's LPs will be there. It'll be great.
Big night for album launches.
Big night for album launches. That's 2 for 2. The last time Aglo put out an actual record, Potion were doing an album launch here, and that became the Aglo album launch too.
Just jump on board.
Got a great photo of me with an 80-year-old man. So.
Oh yeah, that was a great night. That.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that 80-year-old man, my friend Matthew Vasquez's uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He replied to my Instagram and just said, "That's my uncle, lol." And I was like, "Oh, that's a funny joke." And he was like, "No, that's actually my relative." So thanks, Matt.
Yeah, we'll pop that photo up for people to have a look at.
That could be the cover of the episode. That's an easy one.
Should have been the cover of the album. Alt cover.
Fuck.
Chuck those presses in the bin.
Yeah. Start again. Zenith. Yeah, cool. Anything else you want to plug?
No, just this show. Come along. I've worked very hard on it. Or still am working very hard on it. But I think it should be a bit of fun. Tell your mates.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do a promo code for the Oblivious Maximus listener.
Check it out, guys.
Let's make it...
Can you set it on the fly?
Well, I can just put it in, try booking later. Let's make it Maximus.
Maximus, great.
I'll decide later what you get off the tickets.
But you get something.
You get something. So
that's good to know.
Use Maximus only on full price tickets. But I've also got a big dog ticket in there, $50.
If you just want to be
a high roller.
Okay.
No takers yet.
No roped off area. What's the?
Nah, just no if you want to give me extra money because you're a big shot.
Yep.
There's a $50 ticket, which is more of a roast on me that I think $50 is an exorbitant amount to see me do comedy. But tickets are, I think, about 27, 18 concession, which pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. I'm not doing shows all the time, you know.
Get down there.
Get down there. And yeah, maybe I'll put together some recommendations for other comedians.
Yeah, that'd be good.
For our next show.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
We can talk through that. But a couple more episodes coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe back on the weekly train.
Yeah, I reckon we will be. We got to try, at least.
But we've got some good guests coming up.
We do.
So look out for that.
Yep.
And that's about it. Get the Aglo record. Get tickets to my Comedy Fest show.
Maybe the next one will advertise a speak pipe too, because we got guests that people might actually want to hear. Ask some questions to.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. But yeah, jump on the speak pipe if you want to ask us anything.
Yeah.
And we'll chat to you. But that's it, I reckon.
Cool. Thanks, Ben. See you later.
Thanks, Aaron. Bye.
Bye.